Hey, Joyce. I love to see those little hearts going up there. Hey, Brandon. It's good to see everybody. And Lorna and David. Wow, we're getting a lot of people already coming in there. Hello, Michelle. I try to get everybody. Love you too, sweetheart. And we have Heather. I know I've mentioned this before, but please post where everybody is from. It gives me an idea as to how far-reaching this show is. So, I'm just going through my notes. Love you too. And Jody is there. Look at all these. Linda, you have a lot. Your weather is a lot better than ours is right now, isn't it? All right, I'm just going to say I wrote down a couple of notes here and make sure. I always get on a couple of minutes early to give people a chance to log in. You know what I mean? So let me see here my notes. And, okay. Hey, April. It's good to see you there. We still have like another 2 or 3 minutes. I'm still getting it together, and being that we have one heck of a snowstorm going on outside, I'm in my bedroom, so that's what you see all around here. At least it's nice and warm. Oh, Anthony says hi. Aw, hello, Iris. We see Hopewell Junction, and I know that Linda comes from Florida, so her weather is doing really well. So far, I think we got like maybe between 6 and 8 inches so far, which is really nothing for this part of New York, but it's the first storm, so it's hitting everybody pretty well, you know what I mean? So I hope everybody is well and everybody is safe and warm, especially if you're on the northeast, because it's pretty nasty out there today. I did not, hello Julia, I did not go outside, not one bit, other than to open the door and say, hell no, I'm not going out. I'm not a snow person. So, forgive me on that one. But, okay, so I'm just looking at my notes. And we have a whole bunch. Well, I guess we can kind of get started. So, I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving, Turkey Day, Tofurkey Day, Lasagna Day, whatever it is that you made of it. But don't worry, Brandon. Thanksgiving was pretty awesome for me. I got to spend time with my parents and be with family. My parents are quite elderly, so it was good to have both of them together in the same place. It's not so easy. My mom's in a dementia unit, and my father's in assisted living. So it's kind of hard to get everybody together. Not everybody is fully capable of walking and such. So this year was pretty special. I got to be with everybody. Hi, Mary and Michelle. How are you? How is everybody? So I hope that Thanksgiving was really awesome for everybody. There's a lot to be thankful for. It really is. And I'm going to be making an announcement here while everybody is on. I'm actually moving my physical store. Alrighty. I am not closing. I am moving the physical store. As of March 1st, I'll be in the new place. I'll be making an announcement, like an official announcement, but I'll be moving to 300 Shore Road in Cornwall-on-Hudson. So I'm still going to be at Cornwall. Alrighty, I'm kind of downsizing a bit and focusing more on my tarot and the services that I'm doing. I also get invited to teach at a lot of places, and because of the circumstances at the store and the amount of hours that I normally put in, I'm not able to do that. So I'm trying to figure things out. I'm still going to be open. I've been open for 20 years as a business. So that's not changing. I'm just kind of like reinventing myself and restructuring. So there'll be more to let you know on that. All right. Hi, Christina. And we have Billy. Yeah, Mary, it's good to see you, Mary and Leah. It's nice to see so many people today. So as I had mentioned, we're going to be doing an unboxing today. I have not even taken a look at this yet, but it is called the Old Style Lenormand. It is published by U.S. Games. The author's name is Alexander Ray, which I find kind of interesting because my middle son is Alexander and my youngest son's middle name is Ray, so I'm always going to remember that, okay? And my dad's name is Ray. So this is the new deck. This is Lenormand, so you can see that it is smaller compared to most tarot. This is the artwork in the back. So you can see the stork. Really kind of like that old antique looking too. It's like a sepia tone on that. Show you the artwork in the front. See what the box looks like. I like to make sure that everybody has an idea as to what it looks like. Alrighty. Hi, Maria. And it says the Old Style Lenormand is comprised of 38 cards, including 2 man cards and 2 lady cards, and a 92-page illustrated booklet accompanies this deck. So I like decks that have 2 males and 2 females, because if you're going to be reading on a relationship with another woman or another man or same-sex couples, it kind of works. Or suppose you have more than one child, you kind of get it. You know what I mean? So having 2 males and 2 females works pretty well. Yes, Maria, good to see you. Hi, Jen. So I just took it out of the box, and this is the back of the card. So as you can see, the plastic is still on. Old Style Lenormand. And we got that star in the front there. Alrighty. So again, I'm just going to use my nails to open the plastic, so hopefully that cooperates with me. All right, and it's working. The artwork is really quite nice. Alrighty, so plastic is off. So we're starting with the booklet that you see here. Alrighty. Hi, Terry. So the booklet is small. It's the same size as the cards itself. I'm just looking through the booklet, so you can see that it's black and white, and it's quite detailed here for anybody that is used to looking at Lenormand. Well, obviously I'm not gonna go through everything here that is in here. There are different spreads here. You know what? We should have a talk just about Lenormand and the different spreads. Hi, Rain. It's good to see you, hon. And Terry. Hi, Terry. So, you know, here's an idea of some spreads that they have in here. With Lenormand, I tend to be pretty creative when it comes to the spreads. And I don't know if anybody has Lenormand or works with Lenormand. But with me, I tend to... Hi, Rita. With me, I tend to look at I look at the question and what that question is about, and then I pull the card that best represents that question, and then I kind of put it in the center, and then I read around it. But I think we'll do that for another talk. You know what I mean? Hi, Vinny, and we have Kelly on. You know, I'd like to find out what everybody does, you know what I mean, and how they do it, and how they work with their spreads, because obviously with spreads there's no one way that is correct for everybody. In fact, when it comes to when you buy cards, especially tarot, and they always give you the Celtic cross, that is like the last spread in the world that I would start somebody with, because I happen to think it's a very in-depth and not difficult, because I've been doing it for a long time, but I would never start anybody off with the Celtic cross. It's difficult to start with, you know. So we have Fred the Troublemaker German out there. I have nicknames for certain people. So here I'm going to pull the first card here. So Old Style Lenormand, and this card is the Writer. Really liking the artwork. It has that old style to it. Alrighty, and you can see that. Alright, I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to look at that. It really has that old antique-y feel to it, you know. Hey, Kevin, I haven't seen you in forever. Alrighty. Now, to me, the Writer, you know, other people may have different ideas, but this is the first card in the deck. Alrighty. So the writer is about hearing news in the short term, or maybe a short term trip is in order, that sort of thing. Hey, Janine. To me, the writer is about that. And it is the first card in the deck, so you see the number 1, and you can see the playing card that it is associated with. So, as you can see, 8, 9, this is the 9 of hearts or the 9 of cups, if you want to associate it with tarot. All right, so pretty nice. The cards are well made. Alrighty. Not too glossy. It kind of has a matte feel to it. Alrighty, so I'm going to put that down. So let me pull another. Hi, Hillary. It's good to see you here, honey. How many people out there are readers, by the way? I'm just out of curiosity to find out who's a professional reader as well. Alrighty, so if you're on, let me know. All right, so the next one is the Tower. So Hillary, chime in on this one, because I know you do this also. Hi, Sandra. So this is the Tower, and you can see the card that it is associated with. So that's 19. I'm looking at everything in reverse. Alrighty. Oh, you're still at work. Okay, I got it. That was Hillary. So you can see that this is the Tower, and looking at it, I can see all sorts of trees, very old style. It's very calming, when I look at it. Now, the Tower here is very, very, very different, okay? So the Tower here is not about hitting rock bottom or still trying to separate my Tower brain from my Lenormand brain. Yes. And Mary's been reading since the 80s, which is the same for me, Mary. So the Tower in Lenormand, again, this is the way I studied it, is a building, a piece of real estate. It could be an institution. So let's say it's IBM or, some sort of big institution. I mentioned IBM, but it could be Sears or some sort of large institution, a hospital, a library, even your own place of employment. So this could be Bree's Closet if I was reading for myself on that. But the Tower is all about structure and institution. It is not the Tower of that's right. So Hillary's backing up what I'm saying here. So there are two different ways of looking at that. Hello, Jason. I'm trying to look at all the names coming up here too. So the tarot has a very different feel, to this. So I think when we do the 3-card or 1-card reading at the end of the show, I'm going to use this deck. Okay, so here is the Tower card in the Old Style Lenormand. Alrighty, so let's try and look at another. Yes, corporate institutions. You're right, Rita. You're absolutely right on that. But even your own work, like I'm not a corp. I'm just a small little business, you know what I mean? But it means place of employment because of its importance to me, you know what I mean? So, alrighty, so now, oh, this is nice. So, the letter. So what does the letter mean to all of you? Okay, so you can see it looks like a nice parchment scroll coming outside of that envelope. Alrighty, so to me, the letter is about information coming. It could be as a letter, something in the mail, or snail, like I said, snail mail or emails. It could even be somebody talking to you, but it's about, to me, information coming to you. Or dealing with a bit of information. Yes, a literal letter. You're right, Hillary. Hi, Tom. So you can see correspondence, paperwork. Yeah, and something? Here's another thing, Hillary. I will sometimes look at this as a document. All right, so let's say somebody is buying a home. Well, then the letter coming would be documents that need to be signed, or a divorce decree, or something, some sort of official letter as well. So that's kind of how Important information is coming through. Hi, Danielle. You write, and I have my cousin on there. Hi, Sandra. So the letter in Lenormand, that's what this means to me. So it's information coming to you. So you can get that, again, that old kind of sepia, that color that is on there. Yep, documents, a deed, right, exactly. So again, that's the back of it. And that is the letter. Okay, so that is that card. So let me shuffle this up and see what else. I'm trying not to pick. I just want to just, you know, make it be random. Okay, so, the scythe or the sickle. Now, I'm hoping you can see that, but you can see that this is an instrument that is used for cutting plants down, right? You got it. I'm looking at what Hillary is writing here. But what would the scythe or the sickle or the blade mean to you? Okay? So that's what, these are some of the descriptions for this card, because at the end of that handle is a long blade, and it's called the scythe or the sickle or the blade. So what would you use that blade for? Okay, what would you use this for? Alrighty. Now remember, if you use to the tarot, as Hillary mentioned, you kind of have to switch mindsets over here. And forgive me about the lights there. I have Christmas lights going on in the background. So when I look at the scythe or the sickle, it's about cutting away something that basically you don't need. Bringing in harvest. Yeah, you got it. So I totally get that. So you need to clearing a path for new ground, cutting, pruning, something needs to stop. Right. So you want to cut something away with this blade. Now, what if somebody was talking about a profession and this came up? So to me, I would also think a doctor, because a doctor uses a scalpel to cut things away, right? When it comes to surgery. Suppose a needle, suppose an iron worker. Alrighty, so like, you know, open yourself up to other possibilities when it comes to this. All right, I just want you to give you a good look. Thank goodness this is not too shiny, so at least the light is not blinding anybody. Like, you could see the detail. So it's that sort of thing. And so, hello, Shannon. So think about what a blade is used for when it comes to cutting something away. Yes, I like what was said. Maybe bringing in a harvest, reaping what you have sown. You know what I mean? So that would make sense too. I guess it would all depend on the question. But it can also mean a blade. It can mean a needle. All right. So what a needle, we could even be talking about addiction and stuff like that. So there's a lot, you know what I mean, that could be meaning. So Hillary writes, in terms of a job, the scythe card could represent a surgeon or a dentist. Yes, absolutely. That's where I was coming at. But imagine even an iron worker. You know what I mean? Somebody that works with metal. You know what I mean? Or, like I said, surgery, you know, that sort of thing. So it would kind of make sense. How about even a tattoo artist? Now, it just hit me now. But suppose even a tattoo artist, because of needles. Alrighty? So you kind of get where I'm coming from in this. And it's okay if you don't, if you disagree, you don't agree with me at all on this one. Especially if you use Lenormand. But there were so many possibilities when it comes to this. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that too. Yay! And Harry is on, so hello. So you get an idea as to what, you know, this card could represent. Even seamstress, right. So sewing, anything that needs something like that. See? This is what I love about this. So I'm getting wonderful ideas. You know something? Shannon, I don't think I would have even thought of that. So yeah, that is absolutely amazing. I absolutely love that. So now I'm going to remember that. Thank you for that bit of information. Best thing about this, when you get to share information. So I'm going to pull another card. I'm trying not to. Okay, so now we have the book. That's really nice. It kind of looks like my Book of Shadows because they have one that color. Okay, and we have Maggie. Hello, Maggie. So, really like that artwork. I'm really liking this. I'm really digging this deck. All right, so we have the book. So, what is the book used for? Alrighty, I want you to really think out of it. I don't just want to tell you. I want you to think about if the book came up in your reading, what do you think that would mean? Hi, Robert. So, what connotation does that have, right? So, I'm going to throw something out. So, suppose somebody's a teacher or a student. Alrighty, somebody who is a writer. Now, sometimes this is the book of knowledge. This is the way I learned it. Or, hi, Anna. Anna Banana. Alrighty. So it's the book of knowledge, and I also learned this as the book of secrets. So is somebody keeping a secret from you? Is somebody holding back something from you? Or do you need to research, book, information, knowledge, library, doing things by the book? Love that. Doing things by the book. But maybe somebody has something that they haven't said anything, so it's the book of secrets too. So this is just my interpretation of that. Information. Suppose you need to do research. You know what I mean? As Hillary mentioned, knowledge. It is that book of knowledge, and you have to do the research. And maybe an idea needs to be researched and delved into. Getting the book thrown at someone. Mary, that's brilliant. Getting the book thrown at. So, it's wow. All right. Now my mind is thinking, because getting the book thrown at someone, because a lot of people come into me about legal issues. Alrighty. So if it was a legal issue, maybe it's not going to come out. Boy, I missed a stitch there, didn't I? Somebody is going to get the book thrown at them. So maybe it's not going to be a good outcome. So thank you, Mary. That is absolutely perfect. I did not think about that at all. So that is pretty cool. So that is the book so far. So let's have one last look at that. And please post your interpretations, because I've already learned so much just in the few minutes that we've been doing this. You know what I mean? So that really I like that, getting the book thrown at that. Up until I didn't think of that one either. So that is very, very cool. It'll be fun to go into when the show is over and I get to reread everything, and I'll be taking more notes down. That's how you learn, right? That's how you learn. So next card. Okay, the bear. Alrighty, can you see that? All right, I don't think it's too shiny. All right, that's the number 15. I'm not good at reading backwards. So that is the number 15 here. So what do you think the bear means? Hi, Kristen. What does the bear mean to you? All right, make sure you got a good look at that. To me, to be bearish, to be the one in charge. Heck, my name means bear. Bernadette means brave as a bear. All right. The bear always confuses you. Okay, so, and Robin is on too. Yay. To me, to be bearish is to be aggressive. So, I own my own business, right? So I can be associated with the bear, and from time to time I can be pretty aggressive because I'm confident in the certain things that are dear to me. But I always think about Mama Bear when I see it. Yeah. But guess what? Mama bears are aggressive because you don't screw the mama bear who's protecting her cubs. So again, it falls into the same thing, Hillary. Same thing. It's to be that aggressive person, to be the one in charge, that sort of thing. I have a tendency to do that. I'd rather not, but if need be, I'll push forward and do it. So Terry writes, I think of it as hard work, being solo, and being focused. Excellent. Being focused. Let me think about that one too. because you have to be if you need to do, you know, something that you believe in. So that would make sense. Mary writes, this deck is very deep and allows the reader to get a clearer sense of things, even if it's decades ago. Oh, yes. And then also Mary writes, enormous strength, enormous power and strength. Yeah. So I'm going to put this back up again. So, you know, remember, it is an archetype, isn't it? Right? So what is a bear like? You know what I mean? Also associate the bear with do you associate the bear with you're going to make me say that word, entrepreneurial, or I look at the fox. All right. So, Hillary, in my opinion, if it was somebody who wanted to be an entrepreneur, I tend to look at the fox as being more that. And thank you for bringing that up, because what I'll do is, in this case, I'll look for the fox. And the reason why, I'm going to hold the bear out, and the reason why is that, yes, people associate, right, Rita, you don't mess with the bear, that's right. Hillary, the reason why I associate foxes with that more than the bear is because fox are very adaptable. You know, there's even a saying that a fox is really not a canine, but they're not a feline either. They're somewhere in between. They look more like a dog, but walk like a cat and sound like a cat. There's foxes all over where I live. So, you know, they have that cat-like sound. So it's the way that I look at it. So now I'm going to show the fox. Okay. I would say the fish bear is more entrepreneurial. All right, the fish too. You know something, Rita, that makes sense because fish are associated with money. Yeah, you're right, Hillary. They are different, and that's okay. You know, remember, every reader is not the same, and thank goodness for that, because then, you know, what separates the good ones from the bad ones. So here's the fox. And in this one, there's a baby. There's a little cub there. So this one maybe is not so sneaky. You know, people look at, or the way I was taught with the fox, that a fox is sly. A fox is sneaky. A fox will betray you or associated with betrayal. And maybe sometimes, depending on the question, I will associate it with that. But this card doesn't strike me as being that way, because this card has a little cub in it, which is the first time I've seen that. But the reason why I would also associate this with being an entrepreneur, as Hillary had mentioned, is because foxes are also extremely adaptable to whatever environment they're in. So whether it's a hot environment, whether it's a cold environment, whether it's a city atmosphere or whether it's rural like here, foxes are adaptable. Alrighty, so that is my opinion when it comes to the fox. And no, it's really quite beautiful in here. You could see all the detail in this one. I really like this. Sometimes one card alone, absolutely, Rita. I very, very rarely go with one card alone, unless I'm reading for myself and I just want a quick card of the day or a quickie advice here. Now, Terry writes, that cat dog thing hits true for me. They walk in between the worlds, and then it can be seen as sneaky, and that's true. It's absolutely true. So it is skating by. They're pretty amazing animals. And my goodness, we have one here that we have a name, and again, because I'm being put on the spot, it just flew at. But we actually have a name for him, as well as the neighborhood raccoons and the deer and all this other sort of stuff. Yes, I'm in Cornwall, but there's a lot of wildlife here. So yeah, when I look at a fox, it would depend on the question too. So I think that's a big thing as well. I gotta tell you, I'm really liking this deck. So, okay, so here's the next one. Alrighty, so that is the Coffin. Again, it has that old Victorian look to it here. Alrighty. And let me see, is that a wreath? Yeah, that is a wreath on there. Alrighty. Hello, Willow. So what does the Coffin card in Lenormand mean? What does it mean to you? All right. Remember, no answers are wrong. So I'd like to know what it is that you think about that. All righty. So the Coffin in some of my decks is actually called the Mummy. Because you know how mummy is in a coffin and they're wrapped around. And I get the feeling of feeling trapped. You know, hi, Brienne. When I get the Coffin card, I would say 99% of the time, a person feels trapped. I usually associate with endings, but also in closed spaces, quite literally a box with a lid. Yes. So it's similar again. So it's, you know, you feel trapped. You're in that coffin. You can't move. How do you make the change? Excuse me, I just kicked my stand here. You know, so I associate it with feeling really, really trapped. Very close to the death card in the tarot. Yes. Yes, I absolutely... listen to this one here. Right, claustrophobia. And Rita mentions can mean a delay. And Mary writes putting something away for good. Good one, Mary. That is true. And yes, it can mean endings. You know, the end of a relationship. Or you're feeling trapped and you don't know how to end that relationship. And you know, why are you feeling trapped? Because remember, you gotta look. You have to look at the other cards that are associated with it in order to get the true story out of here. Alrighty, so that is the Coffin card. It doesn't look as gloomy as some of the cards that I've had. This is such an interesting... I agree, Brandon. I'm really liking it. Again, I didn't see this beforehand, and I like the artwork. The other one that I use is the Under the Roses Lenormand, and it has a similar feel to it. Closure, yep. Yeah, so I kind of have a sense... It kind of has that old style, the brown and everything. I don't have it with me today because I'm home, and most of my cards are at my store. Snow day, so I got that. Alrighty, so, alright, so now I'm going to play devil's advocate here. So if the Coffin means the end of things or feeling trapped, what does this mean? I want to make sure you can see the whole thing. Hi, David. So, what would this one mean? The cross. It is the last card in the deck. All right, it's number 36. Alrighty. So, don't you think that can mean endings if it's the last card in the deck? I'm challenging you. I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong, but I want to challenge you. So, I kind of look at this. Hi, Jamie. Nice to have you here. I kind of look at this as a cross that's heavy to bear. Alrighty, maybe somebody has something that they need to get off their chest. It can mean spiritual things. Again, look at it as an archetype. Alrighty, and what does that mean? You know, a cross to bear or something in connection with faith. Absolutely. And Rita writes burdens. Terry, nice. Traditions too. You know what? Again, that would depend on the question being asked. Right, yes, but the cross is suffering burden. Now, Hillary, again, just being a pain in your butt. This is the last card in the deck, too. So do you think that maybe this is the end of a relationship as well? If this card came up? Yeah, burdens, because the relationship is heavy. You know what I mean? So I just, you know, I'm throwing that out. It can sometimes mean a new providence. Rita, if you're up to it, give me a little more in regards to that. I'd love to discuss that. It can be Catholicism, but I've never seen it associated with any other faith other than Christianity. Right, and I am sure that is due to the fact that the person that drew this, that actually came up, was it the 1800s? Okay, madame, and I'm brain dead at this point, of course, because I wasn't prepared for that question today. That might be the only one that they were associated with, but you're right, and I'm thinking outside the box. So, oh, God, that so overused term. But, yes, it can be Catholicism, a cross that's heavy to bear, but I also broaden it up and talk about spiritual things in general. So that's just my take on it. Yes, I agree. It can mean closure. Always about the context, and you're absolutely right about that. And I like that Terry writes traditions too, because it's not just Catholicism that uses this cross. So there's a lot with this and a lot to study. And again, individual from reader to reader and from client to client. You know what I mean? So all of you clients out there, has anybody out there used or had a reading with Lenormand? Now, I know all of you people out there that have had readings with me, you know that I prefer Lenormand for the shorter readings and tarot for the longer readings. So I know a bunch of you have already had Lenormand readings out there, but who uses the Lenormand out there? And for all of you people that don't read but get readings, tell me if you've ever had a reading done with Lenormand and whether or not you like it or not, which would be nice. Again, it gives me content for the weeks to come. You know what I mean? So, the next card is the Clover. As you can see, it's you can see the clover. It's red clover there. And what is clover? I use the Gilded Lenormand. Yeah. Isn't that beautiful, Mary? I agree. Mary, if you get a chance, even put, and Under the Roses too. Yeah, Under the Roses is what I have. Post pictures of your decks. I'd love to see what everybody has. It also helps people who are new to the tarot or Lenormand or divination to, that's what you have read with me, and they are always spot on in detail. Thank you, Jeanine. That's nice to hear that. Thank you, thank you. I use Zendra's Vintage Petite Lenormand. Awesome. Awesome. So post some pictures in the divination forum. But so what does this mean to you, the clover? It might be a little obvious for some, but I just want to see it can be done with the cards of divine intervention. A lot of people see it as a negative card, but it can't. Now, which card are we talking about, Rita? The cross. Okay, got it, Rita. So, what does the clover mean to you? Alrighty. So, you can see that is the number 2. So, it's the second card of the deck. Now, clover, you think of... Right, okay, Rita. So, now that we're up to the clover... stereotypically, we always think of clover as good luck, like a 4-leaf clover. And generally, right, Rita, it does mean luck in many different forms, right? Now, I'm going to tell you a funny story. I was doing a reading for someone, and there were a lot of cards that led me to believe that she was ill. Alrighty. And I was trying to somehow pin it down, and then the clover came up, and it's red clover. Now, something that grows and spreads, they are weeds, clover, spring, regeneration, happy, yes. So, now I'm going to throw something at you. So, I'm reading this, and I'm probably reading her energy as well. But the first thing I saw, because she had the cross, and then there was the blade, alrighty, and then from the blade it went to the clover. Now, the herbalist in me, because I do a lot of herbal remedies and stuff like that, knows that red clover especially is very good for cancer. All right, it has lots of flavonoids and other the chemical composition, the active ingredients in clover is said. I didn't say absolute, all right, because your doctor takes precedence over anything I say. But in my herbal studies, clover is associated with cancer. So when I saw those other cards came up, I said, are you dealing with an illness such as, and it came out to be the case. So she was looking for information as to how to best deal with it, both with her doctor's advice and when she is off of the drugs, alrighty, and then goes back to being able to do herbal remedies. I even suggested this, and I told her to bring it up to her doctor. So you have to be careful because it depends on what kind of cancers you have and what kind of, if it's hormone fed or not. But that's a whole other story. So as you can see, the clover here usually means luck. Alrighty. You know that this is an edible plant, by the way. Alrighty. So, and then the greens, I always give to animals. Like if you have any sort of bunnies or rodents, rats and all that, it's good food for them. So anyway, luck is generally what it stands for. It smells really nice. Actually, I think it's the white clover that smells better, but it has a nice smell. You'll see it in potpourri. It is very pleasing, and in general means luck, right? There's usually an abundance in the springtime. You'll have so many between the red and the white, you don't even know what to do with them. Alrighty, so normally, especially if this was up against the fish, that means good luck in regards to money and abundance of certain things. You know what I mean? Spring tonic extraordinary. Yes, Terry, absolutely. Perfect card to leave me on. I need luck to get home. Hillary, you be careful, alrighty? Hillary, I think you're in the city. Oh, no, you're in Connecticut? I'm not sure where you're coming from. For us up here, I have a driveway that's like this. So, not going out. So you be careful, Hillary, alrighty? And let us know that you're going to be okay, alrighty? So you could see that there's lots of uses for the Lenormand. And there are all sorts of different spreads and ways that you can use. Hi, Mike. It's good that you're here. Alrighty. So, again, some people had mentioned that they were using Lenormand. And here's a question for all of you. If you use Lenormand and tarot, what do you prefer and why? So here, now, I'm making you do some work because I want to see everybody right on here. What do you use it for? Hello, Ian. Again, I'm seeing new names here today, so I think it's maybe a lot of people were stuck home today. Alrighty, so that is some of the cards here, and like I mentioned, has a really nice book that you can go into. There's a lot of good information. Hello, John. There's a lot of good information when it comes to Lenormand, and a lot of different types of spreads, and then there's the Grand Tableau. Renee, if you're out there, I hope you're there, because Renee is actually one that turned me on to Lenormand. Renee Demoiselle. She has a wonderful book that is out there right now, and she's an author and a past student of mine, and, well, maybe still are, and I'm a student of hers as well, right? We all can learn from one another. So the books are great, you know what I mean, that they have, but there's also a lot more information. And with Lenormand, practice. Practice, practice, practice. And the reason why I say that is it took me a little while to shut off the tarot mind and go into Lenormand mind, all right? Because there is a lot more symbolism in tarot, and I interpret the stories a little bit differently when it comes to the tarot. And as I mentioned with Lenormand, if a client comes to me with a question, I will pull the card that I believe, represents them. Since I'm new to Lenormand, it really pulls me to use intuition. Long in the tooth dog. Oh, check. Okay, I got it. I got what you're saying, Tara. With tradition to tarot, I got it. So, suppose somebody were to go read on me, and it was an open reading, like I didn't even know what it was. Well, then you would pull one of the lady cards, right? Hi, Sherry. You could pull one of the lady cards if you're reading for a man. You would put the male cards or a person that identifies either. Some people are gender fluid, and I would actually give them the choice to pull what card that would best represent them. In tarot, that would be the significator. Hello, sweetie. So you can do that. So if somebody, well, listen to this. So the mountain just came up. Alrighty. Now, my last name is Montana, and Montana means mountain. So guess what? This card could even represent me if the reader didn't feel like pulling the female card. That's my name, right? Bernadette means bear, mountain, Montana means mountain, so Bear Mountain, go figure. But that's what my name means, so that would work. But I also look at the mountain as some sort of obstacle to climb. So you look at that mountain and you look up and you go, oh my God, now how am I going to get over that? Are you going to go around it? Are you going to go above it? Are you going to blast through it? How are you going to deal with that obstacle? Alrighty, so does anybody else have a different way of looking at the mountain? As you can see, the colors, that is the number 21. So dealing with obstacles. Okay, so I'm going to put that down. So, what's the difference between tarot and Lenormand? Alrighty. Gee, what would be the difference between tarot and runes? Or tarot and pendulums? Retreat into the wild. Oh, Mary. You're on a roll today, Mary. I got to tell you. Retreat into, yeah, you know, I could see that. So, what pulls you to one form of divination or the other? Why do you prefer one or the other? And what is the difference? Now, I love tarot for very, very in-depth readings. I love tarot for birthday readings, like when somebody comes to me for their birthday and I do a 12-card spread and I pull the card in the middle. And I like tarot because there's a lot more cards and I could pull apart 1 month at a time and then pull it apart. So there's more information for me on that. If it's something very, very in-depth, I like the fact that tarot has more cards and it helps me break down a situation even more. So when it comes to the longer readings, I prefer tarot. It seems to work with me. I want to say that maybe it's also something that I fall back on because I've been doing it for so long, but I'm not quite sure if that's the right way to explain that. Also, if I'm doing mediumship work, believe it or not, I tend to like Lenormand, with the exception of the Sacred Rose deck. And for some reason, something about that deck helps me when I'm doing mediumship work. Does anybody out there do mediumship work, and do they use tarot readings with that, or card readings, or rune readings? Do you use divination for that, or do you just go right into that zone when it comes to doing mediumship work? All right, so these are questions that I want to make sure that I put that out there. So while we're looking at that, I wanted to just look at some of the notes that here's a good one. All right. People were asking me privately as to what apps I use. Do you use any tarot apps that are out there? And if you do, what are those recommendations? All righty. And why? What makes them stand out from the rest? Okay, so I do know that some people use apps. I've looked at apps. I've enjoyed a few of them. In fact, I have a pretty heavy duty program on my computer that I enjoy. No, I'm old school. So Mary does not use apps. But I know a lot of people do, and they'll come into me and say, oh, I use this app and it told me yada, 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 yada. Overall, I don't. Alrighty, so I don't want to mislead anybody because I tend to like to use my own intuition. I might, some apps you could just pull a random card and it comes up, and then I'll use my own interpretation for whatever the reason. You know what I mean? I won't use, all right, so Sherry, right, she doesn't use them either. So, and Sherry's having some really good luck with the herb crafters deck that we unboxed. Was it about a month and a half ago, Sherry? So she's having some good luck with that. So overall, if I'm looking for advice, I don't use the apps. Alrighty, so I'm hoping I'm answering the person that had asked me about that. But that's not to say they don't work for everybody. That is not my place to tell you that you should or you shouldn't. I'm probably an old school person about that. I use it every day. What do you use every day, Sherry? An app or your deck? I just want to be, I'm assuming your deck, but I want to make sure that I'm not assuming everything. So, well, you said you don't use the app, so duh. So that makes sense. So, why do you think people use the apps? Is it because they didn't study it well enough? I have like a program, Herb Crafter is my deck, yeah. So I like to study, and I read all that I possibly can when I have enough time for it, and I'll binge, and I'll read tarot books. I will read all sorts of things. A good book is Tarot for One by Courtney Weber. So you might want to take a look at that if you're reading just for yourself. So as I mentioned, Courtney Weber, she's on Facebook. You'll be able, I think her books are published by Wiser Books. So take Wiser Books and take a look at that. That is another book that I recommend. And I will be doing a tarot course online, so I will be working with that, and I'm working on some of the details now, but I can't do anything until after the holiday season is over because it gets a little nutty at the store, and I need to have some brain cells left in order to do the class. So, hello, Barbara. Yes, Mary, you're right that it's just another modality. And we have Tina on here today, so it's good to see you. So that makes a lot of sense. But I do know that people really swear by them. Also, Lisa Stewart in New Paltz, Lisa, I'm not sure if you're on, and she owns the Awareness Shop, came up with the concept called tarot scopes. So she combines tarot with the horoscope, and she comes up with tarot scopes. So I highly recommend you going there or contacting her. She's, again, the Awareness Shop. Lisa Stewart is the proprietress, if I'm saying that right. I'm like stumbling over my words. I'm hungry and haven't had dinner yet. Take a look at that because, like I said, she does tarot scopes, which is a combination of the two, which I think she's pretty much in I don't think I'm wrong. She's the inventor, or she came up with that concept. I know a lot of people do it now, but she is pretty much the pioneer on that, and I would definitely look into that if you're really into horoscope, and then combining it with the tarot. That's not my gig, horoscope. I do my own minor little bits, but I have my own astrologer that I go to who helps me out with such things, okay? So, hello, Helen. We have some awesome people here. So, what apps, so I already discussed that. What apps would you use? Are they valid? Okay, so I think we already discussed that. So, hey, Bern, it's good to see you. Thank you, sweetheart. And we have Elizabeth Guerra Walker, and nice to see you, Elizabeth. So, When it comes to a class, and I mentioned this the last time, if I were to do a series of class, and I'm thinking maybe a series of 10, maybe a series of 12, I still have to contemplate and think about it on the spiritual end. What number is good? How long would they be? And such. And I'm still looking for advice as to what would constitute a good class. I would love the information coming from you, because I've been reading for a long time, so maybe I find something a little bit more mundane. Maybe I'm not, because I've been doing this for so long, maybe I'm not touching on something that maybe you want. You get what I'm saying? Am I starting as a beginner for people, or do I break it up into beginner, intermediate, and then advanced? I don't like the word expert, because I don't believe anybody is an expert in anything, because there's always something more that you can learn. So that is something to think about. There is something I learned. My son actually taught me this. Okay, this is my son Alex, who passed away. Anyway, it's amazing what you learn from your children, and he is a very, 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 very intelligent person. His IQ was off the charts. And we used to have our talks about science, and he used to go, "Mom, you're the smartest person I know." And I'm like, "Oh, stop it. I'm not anything like your friends. I don't have the IQ. I stumble. I go to you for questions, yada, yada, yada." And he goes, "No," he said, "the reason why you're smart is that you ask the right questions." So he was associating intelligence with asking the right questions. Alrighty? Which means nobody's an expert. Everybody needs to ask questions. If you're going to further yourself in any topic, in anything in life, you need to ask questions. Other people's advice. And you can do what you will with that advice. So I'm asking you, what is that you're looking for in a class? Because I'm taking notes on all of this, so that when I do this, we'll make this one kick-ass class that everybody will get something out of it. And I will be doing it online, like we are here, maybe Zoom or another platform, along with material that will need to be downloaded. And then you take it from there, because there'll be homework, and it's going to be a lot on me, because I have to grade this homework, okay, and take the time to do these things. But that's okay. And then I was even thinking about customer support, where when the show is over throughout the week, everybody gets a certain amount of calls to me or to any other person who may want to help me out on this, and answer questions in regards to the homework in case you didn't understand something. And that could either be done as a call, or it could be done on Facebook Messenger, as a chat thing, which for part of the time it may work for me, because if there's people around me, So I'm looking for something along those lines. I would love to work with the police and finding missing people. I feel I can do this, and the Lenormand, I think, is deep. Oh, okay, Mary, to work. Well, why not? Why not, Mary? I think that you can absolutely do something like this with whatever tool speaks to you. And Mary's talking about finding people. I have done it in the past. Alrighty. And I know many people here have done it in the past. So hello, David and Angela and Joe. Hey, Joe, it's good to see you here. So yes, Mary, why not? Why not? Now, I don't know how you go about letting people know. Like with me, I got a call and was asked to do this. So I gave them the best information I could, and it turned out to be pretty cool. So that was a great experience. And then I've also done work like that with my clients one-on-one. So, I'm still in business, so I've been doing this a long time. So why not, Mary? I think it makes perfect sense, So I say go for it the way you need to. So looking at this, we have a few minutes left here. So what I am going to do is end with a reading, and I will do, let's just go this. I'm just putting them all together here because I put a couple to the side. And hi, Michelle. Michelle, I don't know, did you get a lot of snow up there? Because we got a ton of snow here. Michelle is upstate New York. So I'm going to shuffle these out. And this will be advice for the upcoming week. Now, I'm going to do a small plug. I'm going to be doing a lot more readings online because with the holiday season coming up, I'll be able to do some of this when I'm away from my store and all that. So if you're looking for a reading, please do. If other people out there who are readers would like to advertise their services, please do so in our Breed's Closet Tarot and Divination Forum. So please, you can put your stuff out there. If you're looking to book a reading with me, you can just go to my Breed's Closet page, and you can book a reading there. It helps me because it automatically goes into my calendar, and I won't be double booking. So please, if you know people that would like to join our Breed's Closet Tarot and Divination Forum, feel free to share the link with you as long as you trust them. We are at over I think it's 1,100 people. Not too shabby for a private group. So it's growing by leaps and bounds, and it's all because of you. So I'm going to pull, and I'm going to use the new deck. Alrighty, 3 cards for advice for the week, okay? And I hope that you all do, so draw with me. I'd like to see what cards you're doing. So I got the Heart, I got the Ship, and the Clouds. So the Heart is an emotional thing, sometimes good, sometimes bad, alrighty? So then I have the Ship, and the Ship is usually in the future or a move that needs to be made. That's my interpretation of that. Where, like we talked about the Rider, which is news coming, maybe a short-term thing, where the boat is a bit more into the future, upcoming, which kind of makes sense because I just mentioned that I'm going to be moving the store, and it's an emotional thing because the store is me. Breed's Closet is Bernadette, and Bernadette is Breed's Closet. It's one and the same. And then I have the Clouds. Now, I'm curious about this, and maybe this applies too, because head in the clouds, alrighty? So, well, how do I do this? And what are the options here? Or maybe I can be a bit too emotional to have a clear and concise thing at this point. And it's true, because I'm still working things out. I'm the type of person that likes to reinvent herself from time to time. Hi, Christine. And a change like that is something to take to heart, right? Because the first card, so that was the Heart, the Ship. So the Heart is the first card. Could be Hidden Heart. Let's hope, Mary, since I'm reading the advice for myself, I'm hoping that that's it. Or could mean higher learning or purpose. Okay. So we have the Heart. And then the next card, as I mentioned, is the Ship. So I look at that as a big trip. Hi, Robin. All right. So a big change. And then the Clouds, which to me is head in the clouds. Alrighty. And Rose, nice to see you, sweetheart. Alrighty. So what's your take on this? So the Heart, which I look as an emotional thing, love thing. I'm not talking about being in love. I am in love, but I'm not talking about being in love. It's advice for the week. And then the Ship in the future. That's how I look at it. And the Clouds. So let's see if I can do this so that everybody can see this. All right. So that's the 3-card reading for the week. So have some fun with that. And then challenge to you is in the divination form to post your own results for the week. Alrighty, and post it. And I'd love to see what your interpretation is. By doing that, for those who can't practice or you don't have a way to practice, I'm giving you the ability to do that. So post, you take a picture of you reading if you can, all right? Post them on the divination forum, and then other people can chime in. It's a great way. Growth of spirit and heart towards a better purpose. Oh, I like that one, Sherry. Keep that going. A journey into uncertainty. Yeah, because I had mentioned about moving, and it's a totally different thing, and we'll go into it. I'm thinking around January, I'm going to describe everything that we'll be doing. But like I said, I want that information to get out so people know where I'm going, and I'm going to keep reiterating, that sort of thing. So you kind of get the idea. So Sherry says growth of spirit and heart towards a better purpose. I like that. I like that. But even with the clouds, all right. Hi, Troy. So how do you, Sherry, and for anybody else, I should write down, how do you interpret the clouds in this Lenormand deck? Before we go, I'd love to touch on that. To me, I always look at, like you got your head in the clouds. But it does look a little bit more explosive now here, doesn't it? It's not as willy-nilly as a lot of other decks. I haven't studied this deck yet, but remember, this is the first time I've opened it up, and I was able to do that for all of you here. Alrighty, so what is the cloud? What do the clouds mean in this particular deck to you? All right, so it's not something that I'm to me, maybe that's more of an important decision, isn't it? Clouds are going upwards. Yeah, good point. Good point. Just like in tarot, you have to see where the people are looking. Sherry, you make a really good point of that the clouds are going up into the heavens. Alrighty, so, okay, so that's our reading for the week. I will see you next week. Please put your findings in the Breed's Closet Tarot and Divination Forum. Please do that so we can all really learn from one another. It makes, and expanding, that's right, Sherry. And I love the feedback that we have here. So you all are awesome. Please feel free to share Claire's or Water of Air. Heart/water on one side, and talking about emotions, water, air on the other. Awesome. So now you're even talking about the elements in this particular card. I really like that, Terry. Really, really good. Please post a lot of this stuff in the forum. Share the forum with your friends. The more interaction we have, the better it is. People really get together and share their knowledge with one another. And believe me, I learn just as much from this as I do from all of you, as I hope you learn from me. Alrighty. So you're all pretty fantastic. Keep up the good work in the Tarot and Divination Forum. I love to see that. Thank you, Rita. That's so nice. And you know what? Your kind words, your Thanksgiving blessings that everybody sent over, you are pretty amazing. We have a pretty damned good community. So we'll keep that going. And again, if you need me, go to Breed's Closet, book there, or you can write here or message me, and then we can do online readings. Of course, remember, I can do online readings all around, just like any of the other readers here. So I read for people in England, I read for people in San Francisco, I read for people in Italy, I've read for people everywhere. Alrighty, so if you're interested in doing that, we can do that, and you other readers, post what you do as well. Alrighty, so, mwah, you all fantastic. I am going to stuff my face and have some dinner, and I hope everybody is safe. If you're affected by this weather, please take it slow. Let us know that you're okay, and sending a lot of love.